everyone, we are going to take a look at how to set up and play the basic variant of Cholas. The Cholas ruled South India from the 3rd century BCE to the 13th century AD. The Chola kings were great connoisseurs of art and architecture. They built several temples during their reign, many of which still stand even today. Now, let's get to the motive of the game. The Chola king invites 5 sculptors from across his kingdom to build a temple that will stand out for centuries to come. Upon his invitation, each sculptor brings stones from their respective region to build the temple. The stones are known to have a unique property and bring pride to the sculptor and his region. The king will then identify the sculptor that fares the best at building the temple based on the most points and rewards received. Let me quickly take you over the components of the game. The main board has to be assembled in the following manner. The scoreboard has to be placed next to the main board. There are 5 different kinds of stones. There are 30 stones of each color in the bag. These are the build cards. There are 54 cards in total with 5 different types, which we'll take a look at now. A single stone card allows you to place 1 stone of any color. This 2 stone card allows you to place 2 stones of 2 colors. This is again a 2 stone card which allows you to place 2 stones of the same color. This 4 stone card allows you to place 4 stones of 2 different colors in a diagonal manner. And finally, this is again a 4 stone card which allows you to place 4 stones of 2 different colors horizontally or vertically. There are different treasure tiles which help you gain extra points during your turn. There are 12 treasure tiles in total. When you place a stone on this space, you will gain 2 additional points. When you place a stone on this space, you will gain 1 additional point. When you place a stone of a particular color on this space, you will gain 2 additional points. After the build action, when you form a pattern with 3 or more stones of any color on this space or passing through the space, you will gain 2 additional points. These are the reward points tokens which are double-sided. And lastly, this is the rulebook. Now, let's take a look at a 2 to 5 player basic variant of the game. Place the treasure tiles randomly on the spaces marked with this star. However, you may also choose not to play with the treasure tiles. In that case, every time a stone is placed on a star, you will gain double points. The player who last visited a historical monument starts the game, and picks a stone color of their choice. Two markers are then given. One is placed in front of the player and the other is placed on the starting position of the scoreboard. Going clockwise from the starting player, each player is then given 5 stones, one of each color, and then 2 stones are randomly picked from the bag. The built cards are shuffled and placed face down next to the board. Each player is then dealt 2 built cards which have to be kept secret to them. Keep as many built cards face up as per the number of players next to the stack. We are now looking at a 3-player game. Now let's take a look at the actions that you can do during a turn. You can only perform one of the 4 following actions. Draw. You may draw a built card either from the face up or the top card from the face down stack. When drawing a face up card, then immediately place a card from the face down stack. A rule to be noted here is that at no given point of time during the game, you may hold more than 4 built cards. The second action that you can do is build. You have to place stones that are in possession on the temple structure as per the build card, keeping the building rules in mind and provided the placement logic matches. The rules of building are that stones have to be placed only from the bottom of the board and cannot be placed where there are no stones to support. As soon as the build action is performed, points are calculated based on the number of stones placed, if any patterns are formed, or if any treasure tiles are discovered. The points are then moved on the scoreboard. As soon as the build action is performed, points are calculated based on the number of stones placed, if any patterns are formed, or if any treasure tiles are discovered. You get 1 point for every stone that is placed which is not your color. In this case, you receive 2 points for the 2 white stones. The points are then moved on the scoreboard. The card is then discarded from the game. The third action that you can do is pick. Randomly pick 2 stones from the bag and place them in front of you. A rule to be noted here is that at no given point of time during the game, you can hold more than 7 stones. This means that when you have 6 stones, you cannot perform the pick action. The fourth action that you can do is replace. You may return 3 or more stones of the same color to the bag and then pick the same number of stones from the bag. Now, let's take a look at a build action scenario. Points are calculated after the stones are placed. The player playing white gains 4 points for a pattern being formed, and the player playing brown gains 4 points for a pattern being formed, plus 2 additional points for a treasure tile being discovered, which makes it a total of 6 points. The card is then discarded from the game. The game ends when the temple structure is completely built or when a player is unable to perform the draw, pick, or the build action. The player with the maximum points wins the game.